Welcome, Minecrafters, to Medieval Minecraft episode 53. And today we are going to look at the absolute ultimate Elytra Launcher. We're going to be able to go and launch ourselves from the highest block that can be placed in the overworld and fly over 1,200 blocks without shooting ourselves up with arrows. This thing is totally epic. It's a blast. Now, I built two of these. And the first one is located right here in the center of Emeraldville, and the other one is right nearby. Now, yes, these are based on nether portals, but fear not. I've done all the math, and I'm going to give you a simple table that will make it so that a build like this can be done relatively quickly and easily. So let me demonstrate how they work, and then I will explain how to cleanly set up the nether portals very close to each other so you can launch yourselves from the highest point of the game within about 15 seconds. So you can time how long it took us to get here. This one is not at the absolute highest point in the game. It's only at 215. This is the first one that I did. But let's cruise over now to the second one that I built, and this one launches us from about 254. I could have put a set of stairs or two in there and got up to 256, but I think 254 is pretty good. Now, unlike the first one, I built this one underground right next to my automatic XP generator because I often start my games there and I want to be able to launch from there to anywhere in the game quickly. So I built this little water drop going down to it. So we're going to take this shaft down to where that base portal is. And I made it so it automatically shoots me into the portal. And now we're going to cruise right up through this little hallway here in the nether. Notice that these portals are very close together. I will show you how to do that. And we're going up to level 254. Here we go. So this is where this one starts from. Now, like I said a second ago, we could have gone up a few more blocks if we put stairs up here or ladders or something. But this is high enough for me. And I have flown off of here and traveled well over 1,200 blocks. I'm closer to 1,300 blocks, and I certainly don't have the best collide ratio figured out yet for this Elytra. Now, that first portal is on top of a tall jungle spruce tree, and the way that I put that one up there was planted a jungle spruce tree where I needed it, and climbed up the vines on the side of it, and placed 4 blocks on the top, and then just planted another tree, threw down some bone meal, and climbed up the next one. I did that until I got to the height that I wanted to go to. Now I'm going to show you probably an easier way to do it than that, but I kind of wanted to have that tree there. I didn't like the portal just floating out in the middle of nowhere. The second portal is actually hanging up. It's actually on a platform that's suspended up in the air by itself. Hey, what do you know? No, I don't think I need another rose from you guys. You guys have given me a few chests full of those. Oh, well, now I'll give you a brief summary of how to do one of these builds, and then I'm going to use some excerpts from the second build to kind of demonstrate the basics of how this all goes together. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to locate the X, Y, and Z location in the overworld of the base portal that we want to use. Then we're going to travel to level 120 plus in the nether. It's right up underneath the nether roof, and we're going to build an aligning portal to the location that we want in the overworld. Then we're going to go through that nether portal and we're going to destroy the one that forms on the surface and build a new overworld portal just like the one behind me that will be aligned with the one in the nether. Then we're going to go back to the nether and build a second portal that is just far enough away from the first one to prevent cross-linkage, and I'll give you a little table that'll show you how to do that. Then we're going to pillar up in the overworld and set up our launch portal at about level 252 that is directly aligned with the second portal in the nether. We'll go back to the nether, destroy and relight the second portal, and we're rocking. So now we're going to go back in time to when we started the second launcher. I'll be right back. Welcome, Minecrafters. So here we are just outside of my XP generator. And yes, we got that spider spawner up there behind us. And what we're going to do now is go find the X, Y, and Z location for where we want to put our next Elytra Launcher. And I think I want to put it just outside of this room so that I can just walk out of here. And I don't want the dogs to be able to walk into the portal and things like that. So let's set the dogs down now and we'll head outside. We're walking around now at level 44, and we do need to remember that because it's going to be slightly important as to how far away we put the portals above here. So this is the location that I want to put my overworld portal down at, right here. So notice it's at 1523. If I divide that by 8, I'm at 191. So when I set up the base portal in the nether, it's going to be at 191. And the Z, it's minus 1664 divided by 8 is minus 208. So now let's zip off to the nether. So here we are in a little transportation hub that I've set up here just below the nether roof. Those half slabs up there are touching the lowest blocks in the nether roof. And this portal over here on the right is connected up to Emeraldville. So I just dug out over here a little while ago and built a portal that is directly aligned to the one that we just, those 2 blocks that we just set up down there right next to the XP generator. Notice that it's at X equals 191 and Z equals minus 208. So this is exactly aligned with that, where we want to put that portal down in the overworld. Notice that we're at Y equals 122 here. That's important because the higher you make this thing in the nether, the closer you can put the portals together up here. So now let's light it off and zip back in and see where the portal gets spawned in the overworld. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's kind of funny. Alright, well, we certainly don't want it up there. We definitely want to put it down at around level 44 so we can come cruising out of our XP generator and quickly hop into it. So let's take this thing out here. So I think I'll cut away now and I'll be back when I'm ready to set up the portal down where we want it. I'll be right back. So here we are just outside the XP generator, and this is where we want to put our base overworld portal. This will be linked up, it's directly aligned with that first portal that we set up in the nether. Now when we light this portal and we go back to the nether, we're going to want to set up the second nether portal that we want to link to the really high launch pad that we're going to have up in the overworld. And we want that second portal to be as close as possible to the first one so we can make each trip pretty quick. Now, how close you can make them without having them cross-communicate is a function of how high this one is in the overworld and how high your blocks are, your portals are in the nether. That's why we made them as high as possible in the nether. So here we go. We're going back to the nether and coming out of that first portal. So to figure out how close I could make the portals, I calculated the straight line distance that I would have from each of the portals, and here's a summary of it here. If you want to launch off of 252 and you build your nether portals up at 120, the minimum distance between the nether portals is shown in the second line there. So for us, we're at level 44. So the minimum distance that I need to put between these 2 portals up here is 14, and that's going to result in 112 in the overworld. So I'd recommend you take a screenshot of this if you want to build these. So now I'm going to go back to the nether and show you where I dug along 14 blocks in the Z direction away from that first portal, and I found this spot right here. So you may recall that that first portal is set up at Z equals minus 208. So I came over here, 14 blocks away is Z equals minus 222. So this is where I'm going to put the second portal in the nether, and this is going to be the portal that will link up to the launch pad. Now notice that X is at 192. I had to move it over 1 because it was a piece of bedrock up here. I was trying to put this up kind of high. So 192 times 8, my overworld launch pad is going to be at 1536. And with the Z at minus 222, the overworld launch pad in the Z is going to be at minus 1776. Well, now I'm going to clean this area out and go get some resources so that after I build this portal and light it, I'll be able to pillar up real quickly after I move to 1536 and minus 1776 in the overworld. Now when I build and light this portal the first time, it's going to link to the base overworld portal that we have down there by the XP generator. So we'll have to come back up, break it, and relight it after we build the overworld launch portal up at level 252. Oh, so let me cut out right now and I'll be back when I'm ready to light this portal. Well, we're back now, and you can see I've constructed this portal, and we're going to light it here. There we go. And we can see how close these two are right now. There's the first one. I'm going to have to go get some more obsidian, and I'll meet you down in the overworld. So here we are back in the overworld, and we are at x equals 1536 and z equals minus 1776. And you can see we're about 112 blocks away from that House of Bones over there, which is on top of where we set up the main base portal down at level 44. So I had to come over here and take out this little tree right next to me because it was in the way for pillaring up. But I'm going to pillar up right now to level 252 and set up the portal that we're going to use for our launch pad. Now, unlike the first one that I built where I used that tall jungle spruce to set my launch portal on top of, I'm just going to pillar up with netherrack here because it's cheap and easy and can be quickly mined out when I want to clean this out at the end. This portal will be so high that it will be barely visible when I'm down here in the overworld. Okay, so I'm going to cut out right now, and I'll be back after I finish setting up the portal. So here we are at the very top of our world. That top block there in this portal is at 256, which is the highest block we can place in Minecraft. So we're standing down here on 252 and a half. I put half slabs in here. So our head is at about 254, and you can see that on the map right here. Now all we have to do is light this portal, go back through it, check it out, make sure everything works. And then we'll come up and clean everything up. So now we're going to head back to the nether. We should come back right in. There's the first portal that we set up right there. This is the second portal. Now you don't really have to destroy this, I don't think. I like to though, because I think if you go away from it for a long enough period of time, it will only align with the one that's closest to it, which is the one that we set up there at 256. But I do this anyway so I can quickly check it. So destroy it, relight it, and cruise back and make sure we come out on the that really high launch platform that we have set up there. And if we do, I'm just going to take a few minutes to decorate this out real quick. Basically, this build is up and running, so I'm going to clean it up a little bit. I'll just destroy the netherrack on the way down, and we'll be all set. So I'm going to cut out right now. I'll be back in just a second. And we're back at the base of our second Elytra Launcher here, just outside of our XP generator. The dogs are doing a great job here, throwing some XP our way. Fantastic. Okay, I'm just going to take a second to show you how we clean everything up and decorate it out. Got to set the dog down here real quick. Hey, Fido, let's knock off that guy and have a seat there, Spike. Way to go. All right. So, if you recall, there goes some of our skeleton buddies up there. This is where we set up that portal. There it is. Just threw some pictures around the room. Threw a little light in here. And I also, in the beginning of the video, I came down through that water drop, which is right above us. And you step on that pressure plate right there. It just fires off a piston and pushes this into the portal so we can kind of launch more quickly. But the principal way I'm going to do it is, the principal way I'm going to utilize it is by just coming in here the way we just did. And so now we're just going to go up to that platform that's up at 252. So here we are in the nether. This is that first portal that we set up in the nether right here. And I cleaned out the whole area, lit it all up. And over here is the portal that's right above Emeraldville. This has been here actually a really long time before I even made my first Elytra Launcher. That's the other portal that's hooked up to the top of that tall spruce tree near Emeraldville. And I found some quartz in here, so I used the quartz to decorate it out a little bit. And here is the second portal down here that we set up for the second Elytra Launcher. And this takes us right up to that level 254. So we'll just hop in there. Now this design is awesome because it allows us to have multiple launchers all over our world, so we can use them to travel around. There's no boat count restriction. And also it lets us launch from below ground, so I'm setting these up in my underground bases as you saw in this video. And because this design does not rely on glitches, it should be available and our launchers will be working through future updates in the game. Well, this is Sir Kelvin of the Arch, and I'm taking off.